Yeah, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And with Fuji Guys, here's this video now. We're going to go through the top features of the brand new XP70. You saw the first look and where all the buttons are and everything in this video. Billy's going to take you through all the top features, including the new Wi-Fi features. So take it away, Billy.
Let's check it out. The XP70 is shockproof up to about 5 feet, which is about 1.5 meters. It is also waterproof up to about 33 feet, dustproof as well as freeze-proof. And the great thing about this is that, you can take it everywhere and anywhere with you. With a CMOS sensor, it's going to take some great photos, even in low-light situations. But it also makes it very good for taking pictures underwater. So you can definitely take this camera fully submerged underwater and not have to worry about any damages. Of course, as you go further and further down in depth, of course, there'll be more pressure that can cause issues with the ceiling. So make sure that you're not overextending this camera underwater for a long period of time, as well as going within the rated depth, which is up to about 33 feet. So one thing to note, of course, when you do take this to the beach or underwater is make sure the door is locked. So again, when you open up here, you have this sort of rubber gasket seal here. You want to make sure that there's no debris on this, so you can either use a toothbrush or just wipe it off to make sure no sand, no hair particles are in the way, because if you do have something and you close it, you have issues possibly with the sealing. So make sure that's there, and make sure when you push in the case that you push it completely in and turn it until you hear a clicking sound. There should be no gaps really, and that means it's nice and secure. So again, it is shockproof, it is waterproof, dustproof, freeze-proof. Just take some precaution, take some care, of course, because it is still an electronic device. The XP70 offers a 5x optical zoom lens that has a wide angle of 28 millimeters. And of course, it's also image stabilized. To zoom in and zoom out, you use the zoom controls on the back of the camera. Pushing T gets you closer, it's a telephoto, and pushing W is wide, so it zooms out up to 28 millimeters wide. Pushing the button halfway down is going to allow you to focus, okay? So if I zoom in on something and I try to push this button halfway down, if I find that it doesn't get focused, it means I'm really too close to the subject. So I want to zoom out a little bit further in order for the camera to have the proper focus. There you go. And then you can take the snapshot, okay? Now, in this SR Auto mode, you also have a macro capabilities that you can shoot up to about, I believe, 5 centimeters away. So if it recognizes that an object is very close, it's going to automatically switch to the macro mode and allow the camera to select a macro focus. And that's going to make it easier for you to take close-up shots. Now, if you're out of SR Auto, you can go into the menu, and again, if you're shooting in Program Auto and you wanted to do macro photos, it's not going to switch it automatically in this mode, so you would actually manually put the macro function on. Allows you to get a closer focus when you want to do that, whether you're taking pictures of flowers, coin collection, stamps, whatever that you want to take close-ups of. And you can also use macro when you're zooming in on as well. So if you're taking pictures of bugs that are on a leaf, you don't have to physically get that close. As you zoom in and you turn on the macro mode, it will also allow you to focus in that little minimal distance that you want. A new feature on the XP70 is the action camera mode. Now, the action camera mode can be accessed via the shooting menu. So again, you would push the menu OK button, bring up the shooting mode, and from there you can select various shooting modes up to the action camera mode. And let's take a look at that mode and what it exactly does. So in the action camera mode, it locks the zoom so that it's on wide angle, so you can't zoom in, zoom out. It allows you to take photos, of course, and of course to do videos. And when you do videos with this mode, what happens is that it will turn off the LCD screen after a few seconds to conserve battery. Again, it is still recording video, and you see that with the LED light that's blinking in front. But again, it is saving battery life. So if you attach this to a bike or using sort of a bike adapter or anything like that, it's going to conserve battery life on the camera. When you stop the recording, again, you can see it does make an audible noise to tell you that it finished. Now, in addition to this mode, there is an accessory that you can purchase for it called the action camera lens. And although it's not necessary to work with this mode, it brings the camera's wide angle lens from a 28 mil down to I believe a 21 millimeter equivalency. So you get a nice, somewhat fish-eye look. The package itself here, as you can see, consists of the adapter piece that is attached to the camera, as well as the conversion lens. Again, this nice little accessory gives you sort of that GoPro-like look by giving you that field of view that's quite wide. So again, just looking on the back of the camera here, you know, when I stick the lens to it, everything becomes wider, as you can see right there. Okay, so just to attach it, of course, you would attach the adapter bracket onto the camera here, and it should click in place. And then from this adapter here, you would just click it in place, snap it in, and it should fall right under the hot shoe where you can then attach and lock this up to the hot shoe. And now you have this cam that has a nice wide angle field of view where you can either take photos or of course you can do videos. And of course when you attach this to you know, a snowboard or a skateboard or a bike using, you know, whatever mount that you're using, it's going to give you a nice field of view that's a lot wider. And of course, it's great for doing, you know, photos where you're looking at yourself, because you can take close-up shots and it's wide enough to see everything. So this is a nice accessory to look into. It's called the Action Camera Lens, and it works in conjunction with the Action Camera mode that's on this camera. The XP70 offers full HD video at up to 60 frames a second. To start and stop the video, you would actually have a dedicated recording button there. As you push down, it starts the recording process. During the recording, of course, you can use things like face detection in order for it to control the focus during the video. You can zoom in optically during the video as well, and zoom out. And of course, with face detection on, it will adjust, of course, the focusing during the video. To take photos during the video, you can actually push the shutter button, and it allows you to take snapshots up to about 3 megapixels of uninterrupted video. So in that mode, basically, I can take photos, and of course, the video will continue to record, and there won't be any interruptions to it. To stop the video, you push the record button, and of course, it stops. Again, looking back at the video function here, you can see these are the images that were taken during the video. And then, of course, when a video appears, you have these little film strip-like icons, and you push down a directional pad to play the video. And, of course, you've got speakers as well as built-in microphones on the camera. Okay, now going into the menu, you can configure the video mode for various things. So let's go back to the shooting mode, sorry. Push the menu OK, and we're going to scroll down until we see the movie options. So in the movie mode, we have the choice of full HD video at 60 frames a second, 30 frames a second, as well as 720p at 60 frames a second. Then you have some lower resolution, and then you get to what we call high speed. And there's different sizes and speeds available. It can record up to basically 240 frames a second at only 320 by 240, and that's going to give you basically a slow motion video. So again, if I were to do a video on that and maybe take a picture of this pan dropping, again, I'm just going to see if I can start the video, drop the pencil, and stop the recording instantly. As you can see, that was quite fast. If I play back that video, it's going to record in slow motion, as you can see right there. That short few seconds that I've shot the video, you can see the pen drop, so that's kind of cool to do. So again, you can configure that in the menu. Aside from the different video modes, of course, you also have the different focusing options during video. You have the continuous focus or the center focus. And continuous will constantly adjust the focus during the video. Center focus means when you push the button halfway down, or actually when it sets the focus, it doesn't adjust any further. So if you don't want the focus to move after you've set it, you can choose center instead. And put it back to continuous. And of course, putting it back with, of course, when face detection is on, it's going to automatically use that during the video recording mode. So if you turn off face detection through the menus, then you know, it won't use face detection for videos. This camera offers high-speed shooting up to 10 frames a second. Normally when you take a photo, you would push the button halfway down to pre-focus, and you push the button completely down to take one photo. If you want to take a burst shot, a bunch of photos, what you can do is turn on the continuous shooting mode here. There's a dedicated button for that. And now I have it set to the high speed mode. And from here you can configure the different speeds through the menu. So you can have high speed, medium, low, and then some other options down here. What I'm going to select is, of course, the high speed. And this is going to give me 10 frames a second at max resolution. I'm going to push halfway down to pre-focus. And as you can see here, I'm going to fire a bunch of shots. And it took up to about 10 shots there, and basically up to 10 frames a second. So playing back the image, you can see the images are all grouped together in a small little window. To look at those images individually, you push down on the directional pad. And from there, it says you have 1 of 10 shots. You can navigate through the 10 different shots that you've taken. So this is going to take the guesswork out of your action shots if you wanted to do that. As you can see, that's kind of nice to see. In addition to that, you can get really fast, high-speed shooting. Again, you would go into the menu to select continuous shooting, and you could configure it for super high speed. And this is going to capture, I think, 60 frames in just 1 second. Again, I'm going to make sure it's on the high speed mode, which it is. And let me see how it does it now. So it fired a bunch of shots. It did look like it only fired like a few, but in fact, I think fired 60 different shots there really, really quickly. So if I push down to see the images, it's going to show actually I have 1 of 70 photos. So again, this is 70 photos taken in that 1 second time frame. And this is going to even make it easier for you to get the best possible angle if you want to shoot any action shots. And again, shooting at this high-speed mode is not going to give you full resolution. It will reduce the size to basically a 3-megapixel image, but that's more than enough to make even an 8x10 print. And you can get a nice, a bunch of shots here, up to 70 shots. So that's a cool little feature to look at. There's a great feature on the camera called Advanced Filter that allows you to do some creative things with your photos. To go into that mode, you would push the menu OK button, select the shooting menu, and scroll down until you see the Advanced Filter function. And here we go, Advanced Filters. From there, we can push to the right to select the various advanced filters that are available. You have a toy camera that sort of gives you the old school vignetting like look to the shot, as you can see right here. And the great thing about this function is that you see a live preview before you even take the photo of what the photo is going to look like. Going back into the menu and selecting the filters again, you can select things like the miniature effect that blurs the top and bottom portions, pop color, high key, low key, dynamic tone. There's even a fisheye look to it. As you can see there, the pencil is kind of bending. It's kind of cool that it has that fisheye look to it. As you can see there, if I have a subject in here, so you can see it has that nice fisheye looks to it. That's kind of cool to do. And the great thing about this, of course, is that I believe that I can actually record video with that fisheye look as well. So as you can see there, you can create some really cool effects. So not only is the filter effects available for shooting stills, but it's also available for doing videos as well. So again, here I have the fisheye effect, which is kind of cool to look at. So again, going back into the filter effects again, looking at the other options that are available, you also got things like soft focus. You got a cross screen, as you can see there. I call that the bling filter because, as you can see, anything that's white and shiny, there's a little bit of a hash star effect to it and gives you that that nice kind of bling-like look to the shot. So again, if I play back the image, you can kind of see there. My teeth there on the bobblehead is shining with some cross filters, so that's kind of nice to see. In addition to that, one of my favorite advanced filter features is the partial colors that isolate one color from the scene and makes everything else monochrome. So in this case here, if I look at even the green portion of the pen shows up, but everything else is sort of monochrome. So as you can see right there, I take a snapshot and I can see that image there appear. in green, and everything else is in sort of the monochrome look to it. That's kind of a nice feature to have, and that's just basically the advanced filters on this camera. There's some great modes on this camera. If you go into the menu and select basically the shooting modes, aside from the SR auto mode that does everything for you, determining the focus, exposure, white balance, you can go to different scene modes, like a pro low light mode. And with the pro low light mode, basically it allows you to take shots in low light situations, and it takes multiple shots, merges it as one, and gives you a much cleaner looking image. So again, here's an example of how that works. So you wanted to have it on a tripod to keep it as steady as possible. It's going to take 4 shots, and it's going to merge it into one, identifying the areas of noise, and it's going to clean it up and give you a much nicer looking shot. This is especially good for shooting in low light situations on a tripod. Going back into the menu, there's also other great shooting modes like HDR. And this is the opposite of pro low light in the sense that in a scene where it has very bright highlights and very dark shadows, this is going to take multiple shots and convert into one picture that has increased dynamic range. So again, here's an example of that. So I pushed the shutter button one time, and it took 3 to 4 shots, and it's going to merge it all together to give me increased dynamic range. So as you can see back there, I know it's hard for you to see, but when I zoom in to the background, there is actually detail. It's not just a washed out image. Of course, when you're looking through the video here, it's hard to see, but let's just take a look at that right now versus live view. And in live view, you can see it's a lot more washed out, and the details in the shadow gets bumped up. So that's what the HDR mode does on the camera. And these are actually fun features to look at when trying out this camera. If you're out and about and you want to grab a nice panoramic view of the scene that you're at, there's a great mode called Motion Panorama. And again, to access that, you go into the menus, select the shooting modes, and navigate down until you see the panoramic icon. There you go. And you can select that. From there, you have the ability to actually take a snapshot and pan around up to 360 degrees. You can change the angle from 360 to 180 to 120. I'm just going to select 120 to make it easier for me here. You can also have the ability to change the direction from going left to right to left, or up and down. So if I push the direction, as you can see here, I can go again left to right, bottom to top, top to bottom, left to right. Now the trick to this is that if I change the directions to go bottom to top, instead of going upwards, I can actually change the camera vertically and do a panoramic shot this way. And it's going to give me a higher resolution than if I were to do a panoramic this way, because I'm using the height of the sensor versus the width of the sensor. So that's going to give me a lot more resolution. And again, you can look at the images after you've taken the shot. So that's kind of a nice little trick to do, but that's the motion panorama mode on the camera. The XP70 has a built-in Wi-Fi functionality that allows you to transfer images from the camera to your smart device, whether it's using iOS or Android. First off, you need to download the application called the camera application, which is free on either of the app stores. And of course, there's also another one called the photo receiver, and that's really only just to receive images. So if your friends or family wants to get images off your camera and they don't want additional functionalities, you can just download that one instead. But with this, I would recommend the camera application because it not just allows you to transfer images from the camera to your smartphone, but also you can browse the images on the smartphone and then transfer that images via your smartphone instead. So I'll show you how to do that. You have to have the camera in the playback mode. You push the Wi-Fi button to turn on the Wi-Fi functionality. Then you open up your camera application. From there, you click on Browse Camera, and it should search for the camera and auto-connect to the camera's hotspot. Now, if this is the first time you're connecting the camera, you may have to go into the settings menu of your Wi-Fi settings for your phone and make sure that the camera or the phone is auto-connecting to the camera's hotspot. Now, like I said, if you're at home and then you're at your home network, most likely you're connected to your network at home, so you want to disconnect before you connect to the smartphone. So again, take a look at how the connection works. You can see the images that are on this camera. I'm going to select one image here. There we go. And I'm going to import that image, and I can do that, and it's automatically gets shot into my camera roll that's on my smartphone. Once that's finished, of course, it's going to tell me that everything is saved. And from there, I can actually get out of here and open up my, my camera roll on my phone. And you can see there that it should have saved that shot that I've taken. And as I zoom in, you can see the clarity and details of that photo. Okay, so that's just a quick look at the Wi-Fi capabilities on this camera.
So there you have it. Thanks very much, Billy. Not only is this camera waterproof, shockproof, freeze-proof, and dust-proof, but it's got a lot of great features.
Does,
I
yeah.
really think that high-speed shooting mode, for example, how easy access to
And
that.
the adapter for the wide conversion
The
lens.
wide conversion, the new action. This is a great camera for your family. So watch this video and all the other videos by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow Billy on Twitter for all the latest news about Fuji. Until the next video, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji Guys.